And we're live, people. How we doing today, everybody?
Oh,
Fantastic.
ah, whoa. How we
Yeah.
doing? It's Tuesday night. You're outside, but you're all bundled up.
Yep. Yeah, it's beautiful out here, man.
Yeah, it's already pitch black by me, so I already came inside.
Yep. Yeah, it's like daytime. Daytime. I'm smoking some stuff in the back right now for my secret barbecue sauce. So
Mmm.
yeah, we're doing some of
You
that
know,
R&D.
prep work for this weekend, your big event on Saturday night.
Yep, that's the plan. That's the plan. Super pumped for it.
That's deadly.
Super pumped.
Are you doing sides for that too?
No, they're doing sides.
Okay. You just got to worry about the big meats and some sauces and stuff like that.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, it's gonna be a good time. Something weird happening. Facebook's not loading up here.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do.
I'm starting to look like Buddha. My hair is getting a little crazy here.
I do
Oh,
love. I love crazy hair. I think you should
mhm.
keep it. Just
Yeah.
go bananas with it.
Yeah, I'm not going Swiss style with it. I can't have that much. Uh, so this past weekend, did you do some more dialing in on your smoker?
So this was the deal. I tried to take this weekend off.
Uh huh.
I just wanted to relax. My entire week is totally just screwed because of this event and everything else at work. I will be physically and emotionally unavailable this entire week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So be it. Um, just hanging out, doing nothing, hanging out with the kids, watching movies, play some Lego, right? I don't think it's in my nature anymore to just do that. Just something in me. I was sitting on the couch and I'm like
You gotta
the
move.
wife's looking at me. She's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Maybe I should start making barbecue sauce or prepping something or doing something." She's staring at me. She's like, "You don't have to cook today. Like, we're gonna order out. It's fine." Yeah, but like maybe I should defrost something real quick just in case, or maybe you want lunch, or. And she's just staring at me. She's like, What are you doing? Why are you?" Because I can't sit idle anymore. I'm too used to like doing three things at once all the time. That doing just one thing sucks. I start going crazy. So something new I learned because I like 2 years. 2 years is just straight. I haven't really, even when I'm on vacation, I'm bringing the egg along. I'm doing whatever. Right? I've never just sat there, done nothing. So yeah, it's been a bit of a learning curve, but
So I think the inquiring minds want to know when Mel
yes,
is just going to sit around and watch movies.
yes.
Are you reaching for Star Wars? Where are you going with that?
So movies for me depends. If the kids are up, then it's
Right.
whatever. But I really like horror movies.
Yeah, like Rob
Star Wars,
Zombie type.
Star Wars I can get into a couple times a year, but for the most part, my go to like slasher, thriller, horror stuff I thoroughly enjoy. We were watching The Stand, the new on Netflix, the new Stephen King, The Stand.
Okay.
Loved it, absolutely loved it. So in this rendition, they call it the New Vegas because it's like apocalypse, everything's totaled, right? And then the devil is running Las Vegas.
Okay.
And it's just, you could imagine right away. I was like, I would switch teams. I would switch teams in a heartbeat. The wife's like, we'd stay at the farm and be growing food and whatever. I'm like, and you can keep it. You and the kids have a safe time. I have to go and venture over to Vegas to make sure, you know, we have all the supplies we need. Whatever. She's like, you would too, wouldn't you? You'd bounce. And I was like, for that? Did you see it? Pretty much, essentially, Las Vegas in this new is like the whole thing is just an open strip club.
Oh.
Like even in the restaurants and like everything is just an open concept strip club of Las Vegas. And I was like, it's and if you ever saw True Blood, the guy who plays Eric, he plays the devil
Yeah.
And he's such a slick actor that I was like, and I'm sold. Like I'd buy a minivan off him, and I'd never get into a minivan. I like that's we're done here. It's so good. Oh
Nice.
yeah, it was a good. What's my favorite horror movie? Ooh, that's a tough one now. I really like Rob Zombie's version of Halloween.
Okay.
That's up there. But Devil's Rejects, for me, that whole trilogy, I love Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, I was
It's the
gonna say,
way,
you seem like a Rob Zombie type horror
yeah,
movie.
man. The
Yeah.
way he mixes up the soundtrack too, like it's just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I really enjoy that kind of stuff. But
What about some of the older horror movies?
oh, I'm a huge zombie buff.
Okay.
Anything old school, absolutely love it. Yeah, old Quentin Tarantino stuff is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, big fan of all the Friday the 13th.
Sure. So
Yeah,
early 90s, 80s,
yeah.
sometimes even going back to like the 70s, some of those old movies. Gosh, there was this rather busty actress who was in some horror movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was long black hair.
Oh yes, Elvira,
Like,
Mistress of the Dark. Yes,
there you
I
go.
I one day will get a chest tattoo of her probably just because I don't know if you and your wife have like the special list where if you bumped into said movie star or whatever, there's one,
Oh, Shakira.
right? There's one golden ticket. Well, the wife's, I believe, is Sylvester Stallone. And I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
If you can bag that buck, you can have it. That's whatever, right? But I think Elvira's up there on mine.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's yeah. Oh, what a fantastic individual that is. I've been a big fan since I was a very young child of Elvira. That's yeah.
Yeah.
The original Halloween was good too. Yep. Yeah, I love horror movies.
Shakira is number one on my list. So
Shakira. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I just figured I'd shoot right to the moon.
Boom. Shakira. It's hilarious. Like I was having an argument with someone the other day about Britney Spears. Like I don't watch TV. Right? I'm not connected to this stuff anymore. And someone showed me when she was having her little meltdown and she was bald and she was screaming out of like a limo or something.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, this is Britney Spears right now. I'm like, holy crap, does she have COVID or what's happening? And they're like, no, this was her 10 years ago, man. She doesn't look like that anymore. Crazy. Crazy. All I know is like, my favorite music video of them, and that's just how they are in my head. And that's
yeah. She's got a boa constrictor wrapped around her, half naked. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's From Dusk Till Dawn. What was her name?
Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek. Yeah, that was another one. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, that got off course. That's it. That's it.
So I obviously I couldn't help but notice this weekend. Sunday morning came around, and you had to do some cooking Sunday morning too.
Yes. We should talk about the breakfast burritos, shouldn't we?
Oh, love a good. So I usually don't eat breakfast. So during the week I don't eat breakfast. Try to do intermittent fasting, help cutting a few lbs. So I usually don't eat until 11, 12 o'clock then during the day. Sundays breakfast food is my favorite food. So I always like to.
Whoa. Did the United States just turn off the internet? Are you guys still picking me up here? Did he just disappear? Or am I gone? I can't even tell anymore. Is there anybody here? Hello? Hello? Well, there we go. You guys scared me. Like, what the heck? Boom, there you go.
Well, that was interesting.
That's strange. I was like, did the United States just turn the internet off? That's it.
Yeah, no, it's just all of a
Click.
sudden kicked me out. Well, yeah.
Crazy.
So as I was saying, I typically don't um, eat breakfast. I usually don't eat until 11 or 12 on most days, but breakfast food is some of my favorite food. So I like to go big one of the days, and that's Sunday morning when I make my breakfast burrito. Usually, Saturday night's usually a night where I'll try to cook something nice, and I'll
Yep.
always set a little bit aside for said breakfast burrito. It's if I'm cutting up like this week I did picanha, so I instantly as soon as I sliced everything before everybody grabbed some, I took two big slices of that and set it aside for the breakfast burrito because I knew that needed to save some of that.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I we had Eggos for breakfast,
Uh huh.
and we were good with it. Everything was fine with it until I saw you post that burrito, and I was like, "There's nothing happening. Life is stagnant." I'm like, I have to pick something.
Yeah.
And the wife was like, "Oh, great! There you go again. There you go." Like, stomping around like this. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I got all worked up and jacked up for it, so that was good. That was a good time.
What'd you put in yours?
A bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Rice, eggs. Um, I had some of the skirt steak
Okay.
and peppers and onions. That's
Nice.
it. Yeah, it was not bad. It's
Hot
not bad.
sauce.
I when I make a burrito, they're usually just mostly rice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends what I got floating around, but I didn't have anything fresh until later that day, so I kind of just stuffed it all in there and away I went. But
Yeah, it's a good way to clean out the fridge too. If you got some extra veggies or kind of stuff from earlier in the week, you can kind of chop everything up and toss it in. Obviously, you have to have some sort of hot sauce with the burrito.
yeah,
Um, cheese and a hot sauce is always something I need to have. I usually always like to have a meat, egg, and some sort of potato too, just to balance everything out.
yep, yeah. That's that sounds good. I don't know. Yours always look very pretty.
But the rice is a good call though too. That's
Well,
something.
I'm very careful about what I call a burrito or a taco or a fajita because I don't have a firm grasp on the rules of
Sure,
said wraps. And up in Canada, a lot of our restaurants don't either. Because what's a fajita one day is a burrito the next. It depends where you're going and who's naming what, right? But I don't know. It's
I I think it matters how it's wrapped. I think if anything's big and wrapped up where it's completely tight, I think that's a burrito.
okay.
A fajita and taco can maybe be a little bit more interchangeable.
Yep.
Where I think usually a fajita is going to be something that you traditionally make yourself. Like you get a platter of the sizzling vegetable, sizzling meat, and the tortilla, and you put it together.
Okay. Yep.
Where a taco comes pre-assembled. But
Yep.
burrito, I think burrito can be a much more loose term, and it's more something that's just wrapped up. If anybody out there has any knowledge to drop on us on this discussion, please drop it. Where's Bobby?
Yeah. No, and that's the tricky part, right? Like I would love to learn more about the etiquette of the wraps. I would like the pico de gallo and stuff. Learning the specific things about making these things is what makes them good, and I enjoy that very much.
Right,
I
and I think
I marinated my skirt steak for the first time using orange. Not a big fan.
yeah, with proteins, I don't like to use real acidic marinade. So even like skirt steak with lime, which is really good.
Yep.
A lot of times I won't marinate it with the lime. I'll just save the lime to finish it.
There you go.
And kind of hit it afterwards.
I A skirt steak is so flavorful.
Uh huh.
I don't want to take away from it. And I feel like that's exactly what it did.
Uh huh.
It's yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where a lot of times, especially skirt steak, I just like to season it, grill it, and then I bring in those other flavors through like a slaw. Like I'll do like a citrus slaw to go on top of the skirt steak and the fajitas or a burrito or something like that, and kind of work it up that way.
Yeah, it's decent. That's man, I do love a good skirt steak.
Oh,
And I cooked the flank last night, and holy cow, just the flavor,
right.
bang, right there. Just and then I was chatting with a guy at work who used to work for a Japanese grilling restaurant,
Uh huh.
and he gave me the down low on their secret marinade that they used to use bulk flank steaks for.
Okay.
And when I heard that, I was quite taken back by this secret marinade for them, which involves teriyaki,
Uh huh.
ginger, garlic, um, rice wine vinegar, and a little bit of root beer.
Root beer, really.
Yeah.
So I know like ginger has properties that tenderizes meat. So that's a lot of things. A lot of times you use in like a wok or something for stir fry. One
Yep.
of the first ingredients you add is ginger because it's got an enzyme that'll make your protein a little bit more tender with it.
Yep.
But the um, root beer is interesting.
Yep. Yeah. It breaks it up, makes a nice little sweet back end to it, right?
Uh huh.
So yeah, I'm quite curious to try it out. Dano was just asking if I've been to the new Costco Business Center. I have. Also, also on Sunday when I was supposed to be doing nothing, I went across town and I went to the big new Costco Business Center, where I finally found uh, 1 gallon steel pails of nacho cheese dip. It is up here. I did not buy it. I did not. I bought the massive tub of pickles and those puricino peppers.
Yep.
I bought a huge, like, it's the size of my rib cage, full of those peppers. I was eating them like by the handful at the table. Lisa's like, "You're gonna die. You're just gonna die right here." This is, yeah,
Do they
it's
have like a gallon of or a 5 gallon bucket of kimchi that you can get?
they had 5 gallon buckets of everything, Chris. They had a donair machine, like an actual restaurant grade donair machine,
Like
restaurant grade
compost?
slicers. They had 4 tub sinks. Like it's a business center. It's a proper business center.
Yeah,
But
we used to get the coffee can size things of nacho cheese when we were in college. And it
yeah,
would drive one of my roommates nuts. So there was four of us that would live there. And all of us would eat it.
yeah.
But three of us we would always take the um, bowls that we made it in and just put hot water in it and leave it in the sink and just soaking over there. Because
Yeah,
we knew that Tony would wash it eventually, but it would
yeah,
drive him nuts.
that's awesome. Way back, we had a buddy that would leave stuff in the sink without water in it that would turn to concrete.
Oh yeah.
He was one of those guys, and then you'd be like chipping the bowl instead of washing
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah,
mean, we were thoughtful enough. We soaked it in water.
yeah, that's decent enough anyway. But yeah, it was quite the neat little Costco there. I had a lot of fun. The meat department was not so crazy though. I thought that was where it was going to shine. I thought the big
But
fireworks would be in the meat department. But other than whole primal cuts, which I can find at most of my other places anyway, the prices were mediocre. So yeah, I was quite shocked at that.
we don't have one of those up or in at least not in Green Bay area, but I've seen pictures of them. Like Masick posted some grilling with dad of the whole hogs,
Yeah.
whole goats, lamb, stuff like that. Stuff that I
Well,
can't really find here.
that's our Canadian wholesale has whole pigs, whole lamb, whole goat as well.
So,
So it wasn't a huge shock to see them there as well. But the prices, like I said, the prices were not as amazing as I was hoping they would be. Another thing that is really making me mad, and since you brought Masick up, I have to retouch the subject. I
uh-huh.
had a wonderful conversation with the Louisiana Crawfish Company. Again, trying to acquire my alligator. And again, they do not export Canada. Canada has a ban on whole alligators, skinned or not. You can get bags of meat, frozen, that's it. You cannot get an animal whole. And I tried everything. I threw everything but the kitchen sink at this lady, and she's like, look, there is nothing I can do. Even if you go to the airport, you pick it up yourself, apply for import permits. Like, this is how far I'm going now. Import permits myself, broker at customs, the whole 9 yards. Still, sir, we can't send it to you. And then there's Rich in my ear. Ohio Egg Fest. And I'm like, right away. I'm like, Ohio Egg Fest, Ohio. So, unfortunately, it's going to be 6 weeks before I get my second shot. That's our wait time up here, 6 weeks, if I get it at all. So, I don't know that they'll even be traveling, to be honest with you. Like, where Jer is right now, they're in, like, full lockdown, stay-at-home orders.
Oh, wow.
So, you can't even, like, go out. All the stores are curbside only. I don't know, man. I'm not getting into politics or anything, but it's getting quite scary up here. Like, and then you got Javi down there in Texas, and they're wide open. Their numbers are dropping. We're in full lockdown mode, and our numbers are skyrocketing.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of people vaccinated in our area.
Yeah, good.
I want to say we're, like, don't quote me on numbers, but like close to like 70% of our elderly are vaccinated, so that's definitely helpful.
Well, that's awesome. Up here, man, it's still few and far between. I got super lucky to get vaccinated, man. I was like, with the list of people I know that are trying. So what happened was they had a load. They didn't tell anybody they had a load. And then when the load was gone, they're like, oh, we're out again. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, your burrito. Okay,
Yes.
We're going to jump back to that a little bit. I know we're jumping around, but when
Yes.
you wrapped your burrito, you wrapped it with tinfoil. Did you use 2 tortilla shells?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to, because we don't have those great big ones up here.
Right. And I had the hardest time finding some until about 5 months ago. So now I always have one, and then the nice big ones, I can get it all done in one. How do you do it with 2? Just slightly overlap them, and then...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like this. So that you got a decent wide spot, and then when you put everything in there, you move it over to one side.
Okay.
So that you can at least get around it with the tortilla as you roll into the next one.
And then you need the kind of the tin foil to hold it all in then.
Yeah, the tin foil becomes the holder.
Yeah, okay.
If not, it would just fall apart. So
yeah, I usually use the big one so I can kind of wrap it all in together. Sometimes if it gets a little like it's falling apart, what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of oil back in my skillet then and kind of fry each side of it, and that'll kind of hold it shut too then. There's different little ways to cheat. Obviously for me, since I have the big tortillas, the most important thing is warming it up right before I make it. So it's still pliable, it doesn't tear, but it's got to be right before I make it. If I do it like 3 minutes before I try to put it together, when I roll it, it tears off again or it starts to get hard again. So you got to do it 27 seconds in the microwave, and then as soon as it comes out, assemble everything, and you're good to go.
The reason why you saw half of my burrito stuck in my mustache when I went to smell it, one is because I was quite passionate about smelling it after cutting it in half with the cleaver, but also it was sitting in the oven wrapped to stay warm while I waited for the wife to be done with the kids to come out here and hold the camera, which eventually ended up not even happening, and then I just stormed out here with my tripod and made the best of it. So that's how that went. Yeah. Yeah. So there. I thought you were going to call me out on eating tinfoil.
No.
because 130 people called me out on eating tinfoil.
Yeah.
These things happen. I actually did not eat tinfoil. For everyone that cares, I am a veteran at eating donairs,
Right.
quite intoxicated, and am able to dodge that shrapnel like a beast anyway. So,
Yeah, that's why I'm willing to worry about you. I mean,
yeah.
you're probably more versed than anybody there is on eating wrapped meats out of tinfoil wrapped.
So many people message me and they're like, you legit just ate a whole handful of tinfoil. And I was like, stop it. I did not eat tinfoil. That's not nice. But I guess it looked like I ate tinfoil.
Nah,
Whatever.
I wasn't concerned.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Not that I don't care. I just wasn't concerned. I knew that you're a pro. Um,
Can you believe
yeah.
how
So there's a lot of different things you can stuff in burritos. Now, Hobby's on here. Big Hobby's back. I'm sure being down in Texas, they have much more authentic style burritos than what we have here. I think a lot of what we get is Americanized Mexican food,
Oh, yeah.
and not necessarily in a good way, like Tex-Mex, where they have different spins on stuff.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I had a conversation with somebody I worked with, and she was like, "Oh, I really just like this Mexican food. Their chimichangas didn't seem very authentic." And I'm like, "Well, I think that's pretty American. It's a
Yeah,
chimichanga. Deep frying stuff like that is, but it's funny sometimes."
that's hilarious. Yeah, so I have a friend at work. She's just the most adorable little lady, and she comes from, I believe, El Salvador.
Okay.
And she makes all kinds of neat stuff, which is borderline same kind of thing. She makes like the handmade empanadas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's she teaches me all kinds of neat things about like the pig ear tacos, and she makes like the green chile pig ear, and it's like a stew, right?
Cool.
So good, absolutely good. And she was the one that got me all crazy about the pig tongue. So they do the stewed pig tongue like crazy, and it's fantastic. I strongly suggest you try it at least once in your life. So yeah, Javi, he knows what time it is for sure.
So her green chili pig ear stew.
Mm-hmm.
What do they serve that over? Do they serve that over rice and beans, or with a tortilla on the side, or
It's to be
grits?
put in a tortilla and
Okay.
then eat like a taco.
Ooh.
And it's got what are those weird? They're like a tomato, but they're not. They're green.
Tomatillas.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
They have the husk and they're real sticky. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Super, super cool, man. So I love, you know me. I love the great, interesting, neat stuff. And people make the
Mm-hmm.
face. As soon as people make the face, I'm like, that's it. I need it. I need to put it in my mouth.
Yep. Yeah. It's the type of food that when you order it somewhere, they're like, "Are you sure you want this?
Yeah.
This is what the locals eat, but is this something that you want to eat?" But
Well,
yeah.
this is when I was a child and I would go to dim sum. This was the
Uh,
same thing. And I would ask for chicken feet, and they'd be like, you don't want the chicken feet. And then I'd look at the lady and I'd be pointing my belly and I'd be like, I've had the chicken feet. I want the chicken feet. And then she's like, okay, haha, I get you now. That's it. It's that's yeah. But it is what it is, right? We do the same thing. Ukrainians, we have for Easter, Thanksgiving, we do head cheese.
oh.
Traditional, big, gnarly head cheese. And it's got knobs of stuff in it, and it's heavy garlic,
Uh-huh.
and I always loved it. And my dad, to this day, is like squeamish when it goes on the table and it's all gelatinous, and he's like, "Get it away from me!" And my dad just like right away, he's like, "No, I want nothing to do with that." Gets so mad, and Baba, our grandma, right? She knows that he hates it, so she always sets it like right next to him and just stares at him, and it's like a Tony Soprano move, right? Like clunk.
So is there like offal in that? Like
Mm-hmm.
all the organs and everything are in there. They just kind of grind it up and
Yep.
similar to like blood sausages. Is there like blood in it too, or
Not so much blood, but
okay,
bits and pieces of everything. Like
sure.
the whole extras of everything end up in this like a jello.
There's gelatin in it then.
Yes.
Oof.
And it's fantastic. You put that on bread like a sandwich. So that's the Vietnamese do the exact same thing as us, pretty much. They have their own, and they'll slice it really thin and serve it on the banh mi's. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if they got it from us or we got it from them or what, but it's like the exact same thing. And they're always like, you don't want to know what's in it. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, I know exactly what's in it. I've helped make it. It's fantastic.
So do you just eat it as is? You don't like
Cold.
put it on a skillet and warm it or anything?
Nope. You eat it cold, man. Sliced nice and cold. Perfect.
Okay.
A little bit of pepper, maybe salt if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we really have a ton of weird food traditions or anything that I see out of the ordinary. I mean, every once in a while, like around Christmas time, there'll always be like the pickled herring, but I don't think that that's that odd or anything.
Yeah. Well, so pickled herring, my grandfather on my mom's side, they're Danish.
Okay.
And they have Stromers. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but the cans are blown up. You'd think it's bad. Like, it is bad. It's raw. And when they crack that can, it'll clear out a room. It's that bad. The stink that comes off of it. And man, he used to sit there like a dog with a bone and just eat out of that can, and like everyone else would leave the house. It was that funky and rotten. And I still remember as a kid being like, that's bad, Grandma. And she's like, no, it's supposed to be like that. They want it like that. And it goes like from the gases that come out of it. It's,
Oh, yeah, that's got that funk.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Burley's Danish. There you go. Yeah, no, it stinks. And it is. It's essentially, it's rotten fish. It's rotten fish that's like sour.
Yeah, it's fermented.
Yeah.
There's no alcohol in it.
Yeah, well, that's my old foreman. He was Finnish, and he always laughed at my lunches. And he's like, "You know what you'd really like is this dish." And I'm like, "I used to have that as a kid." He's like, "No, you didn't. You wouldn't be here. You'd puke yourself to death." I'm like, "No, I did." It's
the lutefisk or whatever.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, man. No, they have their own thing. I don't know if it's in Iceland. They dig a hole and they bury shark meat, and they just let it rot in the hole, and they cover it in like sea kelp so that the salt sticks in it, and they leave it for like years. And they dig it out, and it's just like a gray ooze of. I'd try it. I would try everything once just to say I've had it. I've tried it. Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I mean, it's just, especially if you get to experience these things in their native, state and everything, because how many people get to do that?
Exactly. That's exactly it. I got a funny story about one of my cousins. So there's a whole band of Schmillers. We're all kind of, lower in age, but we're all pretty much the same person. 3 brothers in Thailand for 6 months on their like walkabout. They went to Thailand. And my cousin sends me a video of my other cousin. I told him, keep an eye out for a bottle of rum with a cobra in it. And if you can somehow get it back here, get it back here. I really want it. I'll never go to Thailand. Get me this bottle. Yeah, no problem. They send me this video of him. Well, he found it. But then he started drinking it. And he drank half the bottle before he pretty much exited everything in his stomach all over the docks that he. And they're like, we had to hold him back so he didn't like fall into the ocean. Right? And then he slept for 3 days. And they're like, why did you want this? I said, well, it was a sipping drink, first of all. Like, you don't drink the whole thing right there. But yeah, he's still mad about it to this day. He's like, why would you get me to get that? I'm like, well, I didn't ask you to drink it.
Right.
I wanted it for me, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but they pickle a baby cobra in rum. Yeah. Yeah. I'd love that.
Oh, we were watching one of these survival shows or whatever, and they were going to eat a scorpion, and I was telling my wife, I ate a scorpion once. And she's like, Okay, I mean, like, yeah, it was in a shot. I forgot what was in it, but it was, a little scorpion about this size was in the shot with, it didn't have its stinger. Um, it was probably tequila because it's got bad decision written all over it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it wasn't bad. One of the guys threw up, but the other two of us were able to keep it down.
Yeah. Oh, the good old days, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's see now, like it kind of hit me this year. 40. I turned 40. And this year it kind of hit me. I was comparing stories with the kids at work. And all of a sudden I noticed that they were kids and I was an adult. But I did not know this like last year or the year before. It never even occurred to me, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah. So now I hate those stories because I'm like, I could drink like a 40 a Jaeger and be fine. They're like, okay, let's go. Well, I got to ask the wife now, and she's for sure not going to be happy about it. And then I don't know what's going to. They're like, never mind. I'm like, oh, I'm
Well,
that guy now.
and the other issue is, one, the hangovers last longer, but
Yeah.
two, when we were younger, we do that. Okay, we just sleep until 10, 11 o'clock. Now we do that, and we're still up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm
Yeah.
still drunk, but I'm awake.
Yeah, man. I'll be tired for days now when I tie
Uh-huh.
one on heavy.
Yeah.
Days, which is sometimes still worth it, and we still got to send her, but you definitely pay the price now for sure.
Yeah, it's just different, You just yeah, you're reminded that we're not what we used to be sometimes.
Hmm. Well, that's the guys at work say that's how they gauge how good the after the cook went by how much I start talking about donairs and how early.
Okay.
They're like, if it's 7:30 and you're talking about donairs, you were in the bag. That's that's yeah. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I sure do love my Wednesday donairs. I'm not gonna lie, but
I'm gonna say, is there such thing as a breakfast donair?
if it's open, it's breakfast.
I mean, with like scrambled eggs in it and everything.
A donair's just donair meat, or you can get a mix with chicken. But you can't. It's not really like a chicken donair. Then it wouldn't be a donair. Then it would be a pita.
Okay.
So I think everything revolves around there being donair meat in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could do a donair with scrambled eggs, tzatziki sauce, and everything. That would be because a lot of times when we do gyros, I'll save some and I'll do it in more of like an omelet, with feta cheese and the gyro meat and all
Yep.
that too. But Dirty Donny breakfast burrito might be coming up.
Yeah, the Dirty Donny right there. Boom. I could definitely see that.
I'm gonna do a
I don't know
Sunday
if you saw the
burrito.
girth of my burrito.
Yeah, you were rather girthy.
Yeah. That's it's funny. A gnome from Tropical King. He's like, that's the Widowmaker, the toilet destroyer. He had all these names for him. I'm like, you've had a few of these, haven't you, my man? That's hilarious. Love that. The toilet destroyer.
There's a guy I worked with in the hospital who would all he did was just eat straight up fiber. Oh, bamboo.
Mm-hmm. The
And
bamboo.
we just called it. He would just have bowls and bowls of butt barf. That's what I call, the toilet destroyer, just the pure butt barf. I'm like, you're eating a pineapple with the rind on it. That's how much fiber you're eating.
Yeah, that's hilarious, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm still I'm definitely trying to turn my health around a little bit as far as food goes,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also not applying myself as much as I should be. We don't eat a ton of takeout, so there's that. We
Uh-huh.
definitely don't eat a ton of takeout, so that helps a lot. But I'm still a sucker for like a Sunday morning hamburger. I don't know why, but I really get down with like the A&W double cheeseburgers for breakfast. I got to go there anyway to get the kids their pancakes. So
They serve burgers around the clock.
At 5 o'clock in the morning, they serve burgers. So it's quite easy for me to, instead of cooking, go and get like bacon and egg or meal with the bacon and eggs and some pancakes, and it's relatively cheap too. So now everyone's got breakfast, and then I'll just throw a few like Papa burgers in there for the heck of it, and then everyone's eating their breakfast. I'm sitting there eating hamburgers at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's hilarious.
You know, burgers are just one of the perfect foods. They really are. You know, a hamburger is one of my all-time favorite foods, and it's not just because of the burger, but it's about all of the toppings you can do with it and everything. I mean, oh, a nice greasy burger with the right just condiments on top of it that are dripping off of it, and the melted cheese. Mm.
See, so Kimmy and Jer, they're talking about when I was out there. Jer made me drink a lot one day, like a lot, and I wasn't feeling fantastic the next day. But Kimmy had some special, like, super pizza joint downtown Toronto, very fancy. So we wanted to get to this pizza joint, but I wasn't doing good. So before pizza, we had to stop at Harvey's and get a couple of burgers and melt before he could even make it to the pizza. These are real problems for me. People think that's a joke, but it's actually not a joke. It's sometimes it takes two burgers to make it to the pizza place to get the pizza.
Well, it's because you needed that grease.
Why? It's so bad, but it's the white this.
To, soak it up.
Oh man, I do have salad breaks, so I do take salad breaks where I just have, you know, salads and stuff. Not as much as I should. That's
We did that last night. You know, maybe once a week we try to do. I mean, I still loaded it up with chicken because they had to have some sort of protein in it. But
yeah, exactly. It's good to have like a light night
where
everything's light and yeah, I'm down with that. I really been watching my salt content lately. I like to eat them noodle soups at work because they're so easy and they're so flavorful. Right?
But
the black bag ramen, like you have the dried shiitake in there, and like it's really good stuff.
But it's 600% of your sodium.
Yes.
Right.
Jesus. And that's like, and now I'm starting to feel it. After eating it, I'm actually starting to feel it like in my veins, and it's not good. So, yeah, dialing back on that now. But
yeah, I think that just goes back to getting older.
Darren, that never happened, Darren. Maybe it happened. I don't know. It's
What's your favorite hangover food outside of pizza or burgers?
Oh,
breakfast burrito. Breakfast burrito or like a breakfast skillet. You know, that's what we usually call it, like a skillet, where it's just like, you know, a lot of times we'll serve it in a cast iron skillet. It's got the base of potatoes and like all your veggies, cheese, all of that, some sort of eggs over easy because I like to break the yolk then and mix it all up, and then some sort of hot sauce. That's the hangover food right there. A breakfast skillet with eggs over easy, loaded up, garbage plate, whatever you want to call it.
Man, I don't have a specific go-to. I love everything. It depends what I wake up close to, what I wake up in the mood for, what I wake up and it's easy to get. But there's no specific thing I would hunt for. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's donairs. As soon as I can get to a donair, that will fix the hangover. That will literally turn the hangover around. You can eat a donair, sit on that for 20 minutes, have a beer, and you're right back in the game. Like it's crazy. But I don't know. Favorite hangover food? It's still hamburgers. It's still
I was gonna say burgers are again perfect. Pizza also. I mean, there's a lot of nights where I'd wake up next to a pizza, which is fine. But yeah, it's great. If you just wake up next to it, just roll over, grab a couple slices, and then you're back to get at it.
One thing I used to do when I was younger that grossed a lot of people out is right before I passed out, and I'm talking like it's 4:30 in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like the second last soldier, still going whatever, right? I would walk over to the fridge with that 4 liter jug of milk, down about 1.5 liters of it, and then go pass out. And people would be like, "That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Doesn't it curdle? Doesn't it whatever?" But I would wake up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and be like, "Not bad," and everyone else is dying. So I do milk and I do pickle juice. Like around here, it's still a problem going to get a pickle and there's no juice in the jar, but there's still 3 or 4 pickles. that's how much we drink pickle juice here. It's
Well, I sent you, gosh, this was months ago now. There's somebody had like one of those big old 1 liter, 2 liter jars of just pickle juice, straight up pickle brine.
Yep.
You gotta find that in Canada.
Yep. Just straight pickle brine.
Yep.
Yep. Well, usually they have pickles in it.
Typically, yeah.
No, I don't get the squirts, Kim. I am a pretty big carnivore, so I'm not usually too worried about that. There's usually a brisket I'm passing at some point anyway, so we're in an okay place.
Whoa.
As far as that. What happened now?
Half a gallon. You can't
There
see
you go.
that. Half a gallon of pickle juice on Amazon, $12.
Yep. Wow.
Real good pickle juice.
Crazy.
That's what you need.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, pickle juice works, man. It works really good. I like when I'm making my Caesars, I'll use like a 1/4 cup pickle juice right in there.
On the back, it says it's great for marinades.
Yep.
Secret ingredient.
Yep.
Sports drink.
Yep. Electrolytes, man.
Yeah, oh hell no.
What do you mean? It's the same as Gatorade.
0 calories, 0 carbs, plenty of sodium.
Yep.
And turmeric, so it's an anti-inflammatory. Look at that. I don't know. I'm working out. I'm not grabbing a jar of pickle juice and drinking. Ooh.
Yeah, then we go back to the salt. My doctor tells me that people need salt.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's good for the muscles. You need some of that so it doesn't, it helps with cramps. So, potassium. But,
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know, man.
See that tuna? That's what my brother says. I got my older brother, right? I always say, "Would you like a water?" When he's getting to be too much, right? "Can I get you a water?" And he's like, "Do you know what fish do in there?" "Just make me another drink. It's clean." Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a brother. He's like 55.
Okay.
He's a neat unit as well. Taught me a lot.
Well,
He's a shenanigans kind of guy as well.
hey, and if he can teach you something and he make it to 55, I think there's definitely hope for you.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. Really hope so. So you got any big cooks planned in the future or what?
I'm on call this weekend, so I'm always hesitant to do too much prepping for when I'm on call, especially it's supposed to be a nice weekend. Motorcycles are getting out, stuff like that. What I really want to do is I have some Snake River Farms Carabuta pork collars. So it's essentially like the money muscle as it gets up towards the neck. It's a little bit more marble. I want to smoke it and then braise it with beer. I have some hatch chili still frozen in my freezer. Maybe I would add some of those tomatillos to it and just like cook it down to like this, like we talked like a chili verde, pull it and then serve it over either rice or cheese grits and eat it with some tortillas.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
that's one of my plans I want to do, but it's just a matter of whether or not I'll be able to, have the 4 or 5 hours to devote to it. But work this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things I've been thinking about for a while. I just want to actually sit down and do it.
Yep.
Some hot dogs. I've been craving some hot dogs. Baseball season started, and I want a good hot dog, which I know how much you love hot dogs.
Yeah, I sure do. Oh,
And obviously I know what you're cooking this weekend.
yeah, I got a couple things on the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have a head or like a count on how many briskets, how many pork butts, how many half chickens?
Yep. Yeah, we got it all pretty roughed out.
Okay.
The government did a lockdown up here, but we were able to salvage half of it on a patio. So it's patio only, which is fine. It's a huge patio, so we're still able to have, I think it's 200.
Oh boy, that's still a good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's decent. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
somebody asked you about chili crisp. Have you tried that?
What? Chili crisps. Who did that? Oh,
Brisket.
I love chili crisps on everything. I love it in soup. Um, if you're having a salad, say you're having a garden salad, put a scoop of chili crisps on that when you mix it up.
Ooh.
Fantastic. It works on almost anything. Love it. Night night, Jeff. Always nice when you pop by.
Yeah, I really like that chili crisp too. It gets the garlic gets stuck in your teeth a little bit,
Hmm.
but the flavor of that is
Yeah,
wonderful.
I love it, man. I absolutely love. It's really good on dumplings, pork
Ooh.
dumplings, right? I'll put some in a little dish and just kind of splash them into it as I break the kisser. Oh, yeah, very good, very good. Someone asked me a neat question here.
You want to see your hot dog? Oh, that one.
Oh,
Yeah, are you unveiling that yet, or
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this week before the event.
okay?
Yeah,
So pay
I'm gonna.
attention to his Instagram as if you're not already, but keep
Yeah,
up to it. I know it,
yeah.
and y'all are gonna love it.
There's a couple people, but I'm quite excited for how it's going to be received.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
It's perfect.
oh man, and just the way we did the sign and everything, just it all. So no joke, I have a local artist. Uh, he's doing an actual hand painting of it
Oh, really?
with said individual that I named it after
Uh huh.
in the painting.
That's
I
gonna
can't.
be.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm so pumped, so pumped. Yeah. So no, I'll do it this week, probably before Friday. I might do
Okay.
it for Firebox Friday. There we go. I'll do it for Firebox Friday.
Firebox Friday.
Yeah.
Unveil that because you'll be firing that puppy up Friday to.
Oh yeah, she'll be going. Yeah. Yeah, I think 20 briskets, 20 pork butts, a never-ending sea of chicken and sausage.
Are
Be good.
you bringing her out to the brewery and doing it all there?
I'm going to be doing most of it there.
Okay. So you're going
I'll
there. Are
be.
you going there Friday night?
Yes, either that or early Saturday morning. Not
Yeah.
quite
Really.
sure. With COVID, it's a bit greasy. We're kind of playing it by ear, right?
Uh huh.
So it might be more sanitary that way to get it done at another location and then do the smaller stuff there.
Sure.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. You're going to
Yeah.
be sick of trimming brisket.
Yep.
That'll get you. I mean, you might not want to look at a brisket for at least a week.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's funny when I sat down, I was talking to the head chef and everybody, and they're like, "How often do you trim briskets?" I'm like, "Oh, at least once a week, if not twice a week." And they're like, "Oh, you work at a restaurant?" I said, "No, this is just for the internet." I just really like to trim briskets. Okay, that's what. Yeah,
So,
the
are
wood
you
that
going to
is.
have people help you trimming them, or are you just doing it all yourself?
Oh, I got a couple buddies that are floating
Okay.
around that'll probably come visit for a bit, and
Yeah.
I think they're sending one of their chefs as well, so
Okay.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So your
yeah,
job
it's
is to
gonna be.
make sure you're not drinking too many drinky poos while you're trimming the brisket.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, gotta mix in a little bit of that pickle juice, maybe a little bit of pineapple juice, just to keep it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pumped for it, man. I'm so pumped for it. It's gonna be something else.
So,
It sucks that it was knocked down so hard with the government and everything, but I get it.
well, in some ways, I mean, 200 is still a huge crowd.
Yeah.
So in some ways, it's nice to be able to have, you know, maybe not have to do 400 right away for your first one.
Yeah.
You know, get a little bit more into the flow and do stuff. But I mean, that's still a huge crowd. So that's going to be awesome. That's going to be. Are you doing ribs for this too?
No ribs.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one where I was like, you know what? It's kind of one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because ribs, the one thing about ribs is they take so much extra work, like the chicken,
Right.
but they're in there for twice the time, right? So,
Right.
yeah, they take a lot of babysitting ribs. So,
Yeah. You know, and you know, one rack is going to feed at most 3 people.
yeah,
So a lot of work for that. Whereas, you know, brisket, you can, you know, 10 people can get some of the brisket if you're doing brisket pork, but you're doing sausages too, right?
yeah,
Sausages, hat chickens, yeah, and then plus sides. That's
yeah. Yeah, she's going to be a feast, man. I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. It's mostly I'm just happy to share with people, right? That's what I'm most excited about is just sharing with people.
well,
So,
it's you know, and it's going to be good for you too because you'll be able to sit there and talk to people during
yeah,
it too. You'll be able to talk to people. They'll be able to come. You know, you get that. You'll get that instant gratification type feedback. You know, something that we don't necessarily get through Instagram where we were just showing pictures.
yeah,
Here it is, people will be able to come see you. They'll be able to taste it and tell you how awesome it tastes, not just, hey, this looks awesome, you know, or I
yeah,
bet this tasted awesome. They'll be able to actually sit there, eat your meat,
yeah.
and then tell you how tasty them having your meat in their mouth was. So
Exactly, exactly,
so I
and
want
that's
that
what I'm
to
all
have
about.
that.
I am all about that stuff. So, well, I'm pretty happy. There's some boys coming up from Calgary, right? There's some people making a bit of a travel even just to check this out. So it's gonna be good. I'm really excited.
Is your videographer Lewis going to be there?
So yes, Louis going to be there, and I also have a backup that does some pretty amazing hunting shows and stuff like that.
Okay,
So there'll be some footage.
awesome.
So yeah, I'm pumped for that. Pumped.
So it'll be
Yep.
real fun in the next week or so when you get to kind of edit through all of that and pull all that back out just to see kind of what really happens up in Canada. I know for a lot of the people in here in the chat, Jared, Darren, Jeff, all those guys, they know what it's like.
Yeah.
I reckon I know what it's like. But I want
So Sunday, when I was feeling all frisky, I was debating pulling her out for just a chicken cook,
to.
right? Knock out 3 hours, whatever. And then it started to snow. And I don't know if you saw my stories, but it's not a joke. Like it snowed like 5 inches.
Yes. Yeah, I sent you a message about your burritos. Like I didn't notice it until the second or third time I saw the video that you had so much snow covering everything on your patio. So it must have been
And it's
snow
covered.
and windy.
It's a covered patio. That's how
Right.
much blew in. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah, my truck had like this much on my truck. It's crazy. Like I don't know why. I don't know why. And now it's not bad. Like I'm out here in shorts.
We were just talking about that. I think it'll be 3 years ago tomorrow that we had 16 inches of snow.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, 16 inches of snow in a 20-hour period or whatever it was, but it was
Yeah.
terrible for middle of April.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's garbage. I don't know. Ron right away. Ron's like, oh, I don't know. We're in the pool. I'm like, yeah, of course you are. That's it.
You're always in the pool.
Texas is like, we're cooking eggs on the hood of our car. I'm like, of course you are. That's yeah. I may have to move to the States at some point here, man. There's too many things, like an alligator.
Things are crazy here too.
I want to catch want to catch catfish in the ditch. That
All right.
seems like fun to me. What are you doing? Oh, just catching catfish. Crazy. Like your guys' crawfish. When you get down the southern states, right? The crawfish, it's like $1 a pound or something to
Yeah.
buy. Up here, it's $23.99 for frozen, poorly seasoned, already cooked.
I hate that. That's the only way I can usually find them up here too. Is they're already seasoned and it's just.
It's blah. Yeah, no, and that's so. I am looking into the importation of crawfish. It's in
Okay.
season right now. I am trying to put together, but unfortunately, the government is now banning public gatherings. So the only way that I was going to make this work was I was going to bring in a crazy amount all at once, go pick it up from the airport into the back of the truck, unload it,
Have a
and do
crawfish
like a
boil.
proper, Mel's Southern night, right? Bring beer per head
Well,
to make it work, right? And now,
you know what you may have to do is talk to the brew house. We're having Mel's Dark Side Crawfish Boil 2.0.
yeah, yeah, man. It's who knows? I don't know. I don't like other than my close friends though. I don't know who would want to spend that kind of money on crawfish. And that's the thing, right? Like it's
Who else is crazy enough to mess with that? Yeah.
yeah. Like everywhere I'm talking to, they're like, no, man, there's no interest in it.
Right.
I'm like, well, I'm on the phone with you and I'm interested. They're like, yeah, you're the first phone call in like 3 years. So, okay, well, I guess maybe. I don't know why White Claw doesn't sponsor me. They should.
If
Buggers.
anybody knows White Claw, reach out to them. Tell them they need to contact Mel. Call your friend that knows a friend that works at White Claw. Make it happen. Man. You guys can make that happen for them. Get her done.
That's it. That's it. Right on, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I'm still smell my I'm not telling you what's in there, but there's something in there that's going in my barbecue sauce. It smells fantastic. Oh, we should do one of these after the cooks where we're cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the summer when it's still, it'll still be light out at 8 o'clock to start the show in a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Be good. Well, I think we're all gonna look forward to hearing stories, how everything turned out, seeing videos. It's a really cool event that you got coming up, so I'm really excited for it. I know you're gonna kill it, but it'll be pretty badass.
Well, thank you, buddy. I'm super pumped for it.
Yeah.
Be nice to just get out there. Yeah, it's gonna be nice to just get out there and do something. Uh-huh. And if we're coming into an impending lockdown that's going to last all summer, I'm glad it's now.
Right.
Get it done. Get it out of the way.
Yeah, but go hard with it. Have the fun. Get after
it. 100%, man. 100%.
Oh yeah, and also everybody make sure you're watching his Instagram closely, especially Friday. You aren't going to want to miss the unveiling of his. Stick burner's name and just beautiful pictures of how it turned out. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm so pumped.
Oh yeah.
Right on, brother. Well, you have yourself a good night. Thank you, everybody, for following along.
I will.
Yeah, and we'll have something lined up for next Tuesday. We'll have a guest. We'll put some bang back in this thing.
Yep, we'll go a little bit longer next week.
For sure. Right on, brother. You have a good night.
All right, guys. Be well.